How's it going? It's Tony. I just wanted to make a quick tutorial on how to color with Copic markers. This right here is Ace for One Piece. Never actually ever. I've never done a doodle in my notebook, a sketch pad, or anything like that. I hope that doesn't come in the video. It's just the furnace. But yeah, I've already penciled it. So what I'm going to be doing is inking it, and then once I get done with the inks, I will go over the Copic markers. So I use the Deleter G Pen and Deleter 4. You can use Deleter 6, to be honest. I personally use Deleter 4 just because it works better with Copic markers, and in my experience dries faster than 6. Some say it's the other way around, but really it's all the personal preference. You don't need these. You can just use microns if you want to, especially if you're going to scan in. But this is just what I'm going to be using, so this is what I'm going to do. So yeah, I will talk to you when I get done inking the character. So we got the now we got Ace. You know, he's all drawn out. He's inked. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lay down the Copic marker. Now, if you notice his hand area, it looks really weird. And the reason why is because we're going to be doing the fire in Copics. So what I have is a yellow colored pencil. Nothing fancy. This isn't like a watercolor yellow pencil. It's just a regular old yellow colored pencil. And what I recommend you do is you color the flame that you're going to draw with the colored pencil. And the reason why is if you color over a Copic, like over pencils with a Copic, then it's going to, that's it, like it's permanent. So in order to prevent that, just color it in. Don't color this in. It really doesn't matter. Just make sure that you color it with a color pencil because it's going to be covered up with the markers. So for Ace, he is actually a more brighter skinned character, I guess you could say. What I use is the Chow markers, the 72 set B. So that's what I'm going to be using. The Chow markers. So yeah, they have sketch. You know, these are sketch markers. Sketch have a more roundish tubular kind of thing inside, so it lasts longer. And then there's the original markers, which I only have one of them, which is this green, the Nile Green G07, which is an original Copic marker, which is the one. It's personally, I say the sketch are the best because the brush tip isn't really a brush; it's just like a marker, and it's really uncomfortable to draw with this, especially if you have large areas to color. So this is more like for stamping, I guess, but what I'm going to be using is the sketch markers and a little bit of the Chow. Well, actually the other way around. I'm going to use the Chow markers and a little bit of the sketch. So the way that I work is I usually lay down the shadows and then work from there. You want to get your brightest color and apply those shadows. So I'm using the E11 from the 72 set B, and what you want to do is just put down the shadows. So just so that this video isn't going to be forever long, I'm just going to show you how I put down the shadows for this arm, and then I'm going to apply it to the rest of the body in time-lapse. So that's the plan. So when you're laying down shadows, the way that you do it is actually, this is I thought I messed up, but what we're going to do is this fire is going to be the light source for the majority of this part of his body. Because it's fire, it's bright, but it's not more powerful than the sun, which is coming down this way. So for this side of his body, you want to have the sun react, but then this side, you want it to mostly react with the fire because it's so close to his face. So this is where we're gonna put the shadows for the arm. And that's pretty much it for shadow. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply it to the rest of the body, and then, yeah, here we go. Okay, so we put down the shadows onto Ace's body. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the whole thing. So we're gonna go over the whole entire picture, well, his skin at least, and then we're gonna just color over even the shadows. We're gonna go over. Now you can just go over the whole thing. You don't need to leave white spaces. Personally, I like to leave a couple of white spaces, especially in the cases like this where there's fire and you know, it's excuse me, the light is so bright that there's gonna be a shimmer on his face. So I like to incorporate that, but do not think that you have to. You can completely cover light and it's completely fine. So that's what I'm going to do. So I guess this part can be a little bit more observational, where you just watch and just see where I put the white spaces and yeah, that'll work. Alright, so we've laid down the base color of his skin. I think that the shadows can be a little darker. So the thing about Copic markers is that when they dry, they lighten. So if they lighten, that means if you put it down again, then it'll be like another layer of the color on it. So if you apply that logic, then you can keep applying layers of the same color, and you can get differences in color and shadows and all types of cool stuff. But I'm just going over the parts because E11 is kind of like a marker that can really just color like white skin better. Not better, but you can use it for like its own color, like its own shades. You don't need, 15 different colors to color skin. You can, there's nothing there's nothing wrong with having a bunch of colors. It's just that with this specific marker, it's a lot easier to use and if you want to color it, because this is like, pretty basic, color. Whereas if you wanted a lighter white, skinned person, then you could use the eggshell, which is, I'm not even gonna act like I know what the number is because I don't, but I do know that eggshell, it also comes with the 72B. But yeah, using this color, you can kind of see the shadows are coming, together. And I left a lot of white spaces. You don't need to leave any of these at all. Like you can, at the end I might be able to show some, pictures that I leave no white spaces. And the only reason I leave white spaces is because, I just like the way it looks. Sometimes it looks stupid. Other times it looks, cool. This time it looks all right. I'm not complaining about it. I say, why the heckles not? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the same techniques to the majority, actually no, the rest of his body. And if I come across something that has a different technique, then I will stop and I will let you know what that is and what we're gonna do. So let's go with it. Alright, now here is a little bit different. So if you see, I'm trying to work a little bit faster right here because what I want to do when these colors are around is, for clothing, I really, really, really advise you blend the color. Because unlike skin, which is naturally kind of like slick and smooth, clothes is, it's like linen, it's very soft and, it's not smooth, well, like skin. That doesn't really make, you kind of get what I mean though. So when it comes to that, because it's not that slick, you want to make sure that it looks like, when clothes have shadows, unless it's something like, leather, plastic. I don't know if people wear plastic, but unless it's something of that kind of rubber, you want to make sure that it has a property that's kind of, so that way it kind of fades into the lighter color. Whereas this one, it fades, but not quite the same as this. This one, you want to have like a continuous tone going on this way, you know. So that's what I do. Yeah. Now, hair is also kind of similar to the clothing, like a hat, but it's just a little bit different again. So I'm not too big on hair shinies. I'll throw them in every once in a while, mostly because I'm not good at them. But usually, like in the case with Ace and his fire, probably want to throw a couple shinies in there, like the hair glosses, just because it looks better. It makes his fire look legit, and yeah, it just helps. So when it comes to that, you want to put an even coat on his hair. All right, the hair, your brightest color. Keep that in mind. It has to be your brightest color, or else this effect is going to be, well, not pulled off to the best it can. But you want to make sure that his hair is glossed over with the brightest color that you have for that section. However, you want to get the shinies themselves pretty close, about that close. You know, wherever you put the light, see how the light, I try to narrow it like this, so that way I know where it's going to come from. So that's what you want to do. Like if the light was up here, you want to, and that's where you figure out where the shinies are. The hair glosses. Now, unlike the other one, now this is actually another one of the blending techniques. Now, I have the gray set of Copic markers for two reasons. One, I didn't know that there were refills, so when I was running low on my W1, I bought a whole new set. But now that I know that there are refills, because I was just being a straight up, novice to the industry, I got some, but I got the 12 Copic sketch things, and what I like to use for black hair is I never like to just color it straight black, because I don't like the way that looks. I use a combination of a dark gray and then a black, so W7 and W10. And what I tend to do is I will color in the darkest part of his hair with the black marker. But the thing is, you want to come in with your gray and blend that into, but not to this, I don't know if that you can see that well, but there's like a certain point where it's mostly gray. You don't want to blend it over the whole thing, just part of that section. And the reason why is you want it to blend so that way it's a gradient kind of. So it'll go from black, dark gray, white. Hope that makes sense. So that's usually what it is. Luckily for me, he has this string thing and his hair isn't covered his ears. So I don't have to worry about blending the entire picture. But the reason you don't want to, another thing to keep it in mind is, you don't want to just leave, like if you color over his hair gray, don't just assume that you can just leave it white and then come up with a black marker, because Copics are meant to be blended together. So if you put down a gray in one area and then cover that with black and then have another area with just black, it may not be drastic, but there is a difference in color. And I don't like that, so I just don't do it. So yeah, that was pretty much it for the hair and hat. Alright, now I've gotten started on his pants. Now, again, with the clothing thing, it still applies, but his pants are kind of different. I don't know why, I just imagine to have a bit of a texture to them. So I kind of put a little bit of a little shine, not a lot, just a little. Alright, now in most cases you're done. But this is not most cases, because if you did not, if you remember, we used to have to do is fire. Now fire is something that's a little bit tricky, because it's not tricky, it's not hard, it's just you just gotta have patience. What I recommend is you have all the colors you're going to use on standby. So what I personally use is, let's see if I can grab them all. I use a combination of, no, not this one. YG Mimosa Yellow, Y15 Cadmium Yellow, YR16, which is Apricot, and Salmon Red, which is R05. Salmon, that's solid. The yellow is silent. So, what you want to do is actually you want to have all of your markers uncapped. Don't worry about them drying out. You know, it's not, you're not going to have them out that long. So just don't worry. I've done this before, so you should be okay. Should be. So what you want to do is have all your markers on, and you see what you want to do is, since you have the yellow, I don't know if it can show on the camera, probably not, but you want to follow the guideline of that yellow that you drew with your color, your brightest color. These are just the ones that I use. You can use whatever I say, as long as you can have it from brightest, from darkest to brightest is what I basically say. And you want to have a random shape. Don't follow the actual outline, but just underneath it. You want the actual outline to be the outer part of your flame. Then, with your next brightest color, go over and follow that first layer you did. Okay? Now, go back to the yellow and blend those in. Just be patient with it and let those blend in. Then just go around and put your fire where you see fit. Really, it's all up to you and your personal eye and taste. Maybe you don't want to draw fire this way. I'm by no means an expert. This is just what I personally use. So, yeah. I mean, I like it. So that's how you would draw and color Portgas D Ace. And this is also how you would utilize Copic markers to the best of your ability. Well, my ability. Just let me know what you think I should do next. Please, if you are interested in doing manga, please go to Saturday AM Pilot Manga, I believe. Saturday AM is a bi-weekly anthology. It's fantastic, really it is. If you're not already part of the group, you should definitely check it out, because if you're an aspiring manga artist, there's lots of people there who can help you. I am also part of the group, so if you are interested in maybe speaking to one of the people or just seeing what kind of crazy stuff I post, please check that out. Yeah, that's it for this tutorial. Take care.